to ensure a turnaround in relations.
All right, we're getting more breaking news, in fact, coming in now on the broadcast. United States President Donald Trump has slammed former US President Barack Obama and former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for the exclusion of Russia from this grouping. He in fact said the G8 member nations became the G7 because of Trudeau and Obama. Well, remember, this statement, of course, by him comes amidst the ongoing G7 summit. Let's in fact listen in to what the US president said.
I'm not saying he should at this point, because too much water's gone over the dam, maybe. But it was a big mistake. Obama didn't want him, and the head of your country, the proud head of your country, didn't want him. This was a big mistake.
Pia Mann is live with us on this story. Pia, big statement being made by the United States President. Take us through what he said on the charge, of course, that he's leveled on Trudeau and on Obama, but also the fact that he's pretty much questioning the relevance of the G7 without Russia.
Indeed, Uday, you know, Trump, of course, once again making a rather controversial statement. This has raked up quite the storm in Canada, even as we are speaking. Trump has questioned the removal of Russia. Remember, Trump, of course, even before he came to power, once again for the second time back in November 2024, he has, in fact, in the run-up to the election, stated that he would mend ties between Ukraine and Russia. But of course, now he's gone a step further. He has questioned and slammed Barack Obama and Justin Trudeau for excluding Russia from the G8 member nations, calling it a serious mistake. And he has stated that had he have been president, there would not have been a war. He has in fact stated, had Russia remained at the table, perhaps we would not be facing a war today. And if I was the president 4 years ago, we would not have had a war right now. And these comments, interestingly, were made even as Trump was standing right next to Mark Carney. In fact, there was a bilateral meeting that was held between these two leaders where Trump had made this particular statement. And he in fact stated and in fact blamed Carney's predecessor, Trudeau, along with Obama, for what transpired back in 2014. Remember, the G7 had temporarily become the G8 when Russia was included as a member, but the country was expelled in 2014 following the annexation of Crimea and the initial incursion into Ukraine. These developments, of course, snowballed and led to what finally broke out as a war in February 2022. Remember, Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have had a phone call, and the two have agreed that the escalating conflict between Iran and Israel should come to an end. But also what is the focal point is the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. However, things seem kind of bleak on that particular front, Uday, because we've been seeing missile strikes and drone strikes. Russia has recently hit Kiev, and Kiev struck back through its stealth drone attacks that Russia has dubbed as a terror attack. So, of course, that resulted in talks between Russia and Ukraine in Istanbul breaking down. Not much apart from a prisoner swap has been achieved as of that.
Yes.
But meanwhile, what's also interesting is that in this particular meeting, as far as Trump and Carney are concerned, they've also managed to work on a trade deal within the next 30 days. So, of course, the two leaders
right.
did hold
So
a bilateral.
those, of course, are details from that Trump-Carney bilateral, as you're telling us. That bilateral, of course, was being keenly awaited because there has been a war of words between the two countries, of course, and that was a big issue in the Canadian elections as well, Pia, of course. But, coming back to the... okay, we're getting more breaking news, in fact, coming in now.